Oh my god, thank you for that raid. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. How was stream, Michi? Chatters, how was stream? What was she doing today? Yeah, we're listening to MF Doom. I do the thing that I always do where, for stream, I make a playlist that has like 1 or 2 songs in it with the vibe that I want. And that's it. And I let it autoplay through. And then I let it just like suggest songs from there. It usually works pretty well. Growl training with Katie. Which she's trying to learn how to growl. Oh no. Uh-oh. Well, I hope you had so much fun listening to that. Shout out Alma's great at singing. She didn't know. I mean, hey, that's fair if you've never come across her channel, but like, Amelie's whole thing was never really her streams compared to, it was about her YouTube. I think more recently, you know, obviously she streams more, but like, her whole career was for the most part, just YouTube and mostly singing. She did that for so many years. She didn't know. It's nice when people discover it. Because there are a lot of people that are like, I thought everyone already knew about Amelie. When someone in my chat would be like, oh, who is that? Like, what does she do? Or like, oh, I know she's a VTuber. What did she do before? But like, there's actually a good number of people that, you know, when you do something back in the day, content is really fleeting, right? Like, if someone's there when it's happening, they're going to be really well versed in it. But like, you know, if you're just into VTubers now and you didn't listen to anime song covers back in the day, then you wouldn't know, right? Like, the internet's very much in pockets, so it makes sense. But it's nice. There are a lot of people who used to listen to her song covers and hadn't really checked out her streams, but because of like the Vshojo news have now been like, maybe I should watch her streams. You know what I mean? So a lot of people that are like watching her have been actually people that have known about her, but like most of them didn't completely not know about the streaming side. They just didn't realize she was like streaming every day. Like that was her thing now, you know? So it's nice to see. It's nice to see. It's like hard to get the news around about what you're doing, if that makes sense. There's some people that were like, oh my god, this is the same Amelie as this? I thought it was just a VTuber with the same name. Because they had heard her song covers, but hadn't heard her speak, right? You used to listen to her song covers years ago and you didn't know she was doing streams until a year ago. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Yeah. It's very, very separate. More separate than people realize, like how pockets of the internet are and how much the era matters in that separation too. I could do all these things. I could be a huge part of Vshojo, and then you know,
I got
I'm just gonna like turn that TTS off, dude. Nice try, sniped it. She's your favorite VA. Yeah, she's not just someone who's like VA'd a little bit too, right? She's like a really decorated, like a really decorated VA. She has done a lot. She used a different channel name in the character Monarch, which obscured it more. Yeah, no, she did purposefully get up there and be like, I'm gonna be a VTuber. I'm not gonna hide it, but I'm gonna make it like a separate brand. And I think that's a very interesting concept actually for a lot of creators, because I think there's a good number of them that would benefit from that. Because like if you come out the gate being like, this is all under one brand, sometimes all people talk about are that thing you used to do when you're trying to do a new thing, and they won't stop talking about that thing. You know what I mean? It gets like, when you're the creator and you're on stream every day and you have to see those comments that are totally mundane, but it's just about something you used to do every day for hours, it's like, you know, is this not a waiting room? Yeah, I'm talking, Michi. She had it muted. Yeah, I'm literally, I talk during my starting student screen a lot of the time. I'm usually like eating snacks and stuff, but then if someone in chat says something particular, I'll just like unmute and talk while I continue to eat my snacks. I like being a disembodied voice for a bit too. I don't know why, but I like it because it feels like a real podcast where it's audio only. I don't know why I like that so much. And I should probably just podcast like normally. I could probably just do it on my alt and be like, yo, 1 hour, no model, let's go. Yeah, it's like radio. It's like radio. I like it. She talks in the waiting room. Guys, we gotta, it's a starting soon screen. We gotta get Twitch brained. You're still saying waiting room? You're still saying waiting room? You came from YouTube and I know it. Get with the times. It's a starting soon screen. Get the YouTube out of your brain. Stop it now. You gotta let go. You gotta let go. Did we do just chatting and not zatsunuts? Yeah, that's like a word I've like barely said. Some people would come into my chat and they would be like, oh, are you doing zatsu today? And I'm like, what? Like, I know what that is, but I'm like, why'd you say that? Because someone says it here. And I always thought it was funny because a lot of people that have like discovered me through some friend that streamed on YouTube, you know, and I can like tell where they came from every time because they'll say that. It's funny. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just funny that like I can clock them with it. You know what I mean? Anyway, do you like the name Gigamali or Amiga for us too? Alma seemed pretty set on Amiga. I kind of like it because it's shorter. But Gigamali lets us like leave our entire names in without like it's just completely, you know, one line. But I think that's more satisfying than it is like the right name. You know what I mean? I think. You said Gamma. No. No. How do we get from chatting to yapping? Actually, yapping took over out of nowhere. I've been trying to say it a lot less. I actually don't like it compared to the word chatting, depending on what we're doing. Because to me, the definition of yapping is a negative thing. Like, I think the way people have been using it on Twitch is a little more like they just mean chatting. But in the English language, you know, a lot of words that mean the same thing have nuance. And yapping, if I literally look up the definition of it, it says to give a sharp, shrill bark, right? Which is like when a dog yaps. Its singular yap is a dog, like, you know, a little dog going. But then, like, informally, it means, again, definition, to talk at length in an irritating manner. And this is, you know, for years people be like, quit your yapping, right? It's like got negative connotation. And maybe this is me being Northeastern, but in the Northeast, a lot of people be like, stop yapping. They'll say that a lot, and they've said it for a long time, to like say stop saying too much and being annoying about it. And maybe yapping wasn't used a lot in other areas, but I feel like where I am, I've heard it a lot. So then when people started picking up the word yapping to just mean talking, I was like, I wonder why. Like, I get it now, but I was confused at first because I was like, isn't this negative? Why are so many people using it? And I started using it more just because I kept hearing it. And now I'm like, hey, I want to phase it out because I think people on Twitch don't see it negatively at all. But if you say yapping and someone who's not used to like Twitch sees it, I think they'd still have that negative connotation. And it's not that they look at that and be like, they're saying that they're going to talk annoyingly. Like, they're not going to take it as definition. They're just going to be like, why use that word? And they're going to be thinking about why you're using that word more than they're going to be like, maybe I'll click on the stream. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And I like, obviously I'm overcooking it a little bit. Like, it's not that deep, but the thoughts are still there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's cute to say it occasionally when we're talking about like a stream topic, like oh, we're yapping today or whatever. Like, it's not so bad, but I don't want to use it in sentences all the time when I'm talking about people just talking, because I feel like I've had a few people say it in YouTube comments being like, why do you say that person was yapping? They were just talking. Like, they thought I was saying that I was annoyed by the person. So I was like, ooh, that's right. Like, if this gets out of Twitch, then more people might be like, what are you doing? It makes sense in like it changes per platform. Does that make sense? I think it's more meant as a lighthearted, self-deprecating thing. Yeah, but when people do that, they start to just like it loses a little meaning. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll use it on Twitch, but I think like on YouTube and stuff, I don't want to be like yapping, you know? Does that make sense? The culture is separate. And I've realized it through how people act when I say certain words. Kind of Twitch culture, the chat and stream are a bit of back and forth of snark, so yapping. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it suits here more than other spots, I feel. I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting. It's like, yeah, it's like not as bad because it's still a real word, but it's like saying poggers IRL. And you're like, ooh, people won't know what that is. Now, that's like a made-up word, obviously. Yapping's like a real word. But, right, like meanings change. So I'm trying to like have it be not so heavily in my vernacular, or when I do, like, just on Twitch, not use it if I'm not streaming, to try and get it out of me. So that way, if I'm just walking around talking to a friend who like does not stream, doesn't watch streamers, doesn't know anything about it, I'm not like something yapping and they're like, what the fuck did you just say to me? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Alchemist, right? It's like not negative on Twitch, right? So I'm trying my best to code switch, so like I'll use it here and then like not elsewhere. But the reality is I say most of the words I say in my life on Twitch, so you know. Your music taste is excellent. I'm gonna be an asshole right now. Don't put an apostrophe in there or an E. Because then you just said your music taste is excellent. But here's my secret. I talked about this before. Go on Spotify, make a playlist, put 2 or 3 songs in there that you really like, that fit a certain vibe that you want to keep. Let it play, and then when Spotify does this thing where when it ends, it gets to the last song in a playlist, it'll just start auto-playing stuff that it thinks is similar. And you just let it go, and that's what I do. So it played 3 songs already, and now it's just auto-playing. That is the you know, the big secret, the secret sauce. Sean, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Yeah, YouTube Music does it too. I just think Spotify's algo for it is really nice. It doesn't let me down usually. I had 2 MF Doom songs and 1 Kendrick song, and now it's playing a lot of things that I do like. I usually don't like Kanye, but this is like one of the ones that I don't mind because it's older. Older Kanye was fine. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, again, Sean, thank you for the 5. Taylor, thank you for 29 months of tier 3. Banana, thank you for 6. Thank you all. Appreciate it. When you said millennial behavior detected, you're saying that like it's like you're in some way surprised. I don't think you even need to comment with surprise. This is you're in the GEEGA stream. That's just how it's gonna be. Spotify has good algo for you, but it keeps playing the same 5 songs in rotation. Yeah, mine sometimes kind of does that. It depends on what I put in the playlist, though. Are you excited to have a chat with Amelie later? No, I hate collabs with my members. I am not excited. It's gonna be terrible. How dare you ask me that? How dare you? I hate just chatting. Grr. Grr, this Amelie, grr. Arr. That was the only one. I hate just chatting too. No one could watch Michi and say that. If a single raider's like, yeah, I hate just chatting too, you're fucking the biggest liar I've ever seen in my life. All she does is chat, and when she does play a game, she'll like pause it and turn to the chat and just chat for like 10 minutes. I started trying to focus on the game more when I play games on stream because people used to complain a lot that I would be playing the game and I just like stop moving my character and I just look at chat and chat for like 10 minutes and they would be like, hey, you're never gonna get through games this way. And I was like, hey, you're not wrong. But then as I'm streaming, I'm like, I kind of just want to go on this tangent. So now I don't care. Now I just do whatever. I go in between. I'll really focus and lock in on the game for like 30 minutes, an hour, and then like the next hour I'm just like pausing constantly. You just gotta let it happen, you know? Gotta let it happen. Anyway, let me message Amelie before I get on screen real quick. Just to make sure our timing is all good. I'm telling her to spam my chat in case I like don't see a DM. She's like, I'm ready, and I don't see it. I'm like, just on the off chance you do that and I like don't answer within 5 minutes, like just spam my chat. Yeah, it's gonna be 4 p.m. EST. Yeah. Yep. So it's 2:15 p.m. So we still have like 2 hours. But I tend to start earlier than she does. I think she starts most of her streams between 4, 5, 6 even Eastern. Whereas I start like 2, 3 Eastern most days. I do some days earlier, sometimes later, but yeah, we usually have like a bit of a gap before we start. Yeah, she's Pacific time. So, you know, somewhere in that range. I don't worry about specific start times anymore, because I found that I was like revolving my life around it, and if I woke up a little late and I was like, oh, I want to eat, I want to do this, whatever. Instead of like making the food I wanted, I'd make something quicker so I could get to stream on time. And I don't think that's good when I have the flexibility to just stream longer if I start later. Or not longer, but you know what I mean, like shift it. It's not like a 9-to-5 job where someone's waiting on me for a specific meeting and I'm holding them up. And then like, if I get there late, I can't stay late. It's not like that, you know? So I've been trying to get out of my like normal corporate America mindset of feeling like I have to be exactly on time kind of thing, you know. I feel like the last year I've gotten very flexible with it, and it's good because, you know, I'm eating better, like straight up. One of the big things is that I always try to eat before stream, and I wouldn't push the stream back to get food in me. I would be like, oh, I'll just eat something like quicker, or I have this problem, I don't finish all of my food if I bring it on stream and I try to eat because I'll start talking and I just don't do it. I also can't eat fast medical stuff. I just can't do it anymore. So I need to like give myself that time. And if I wake up and I feel like I can't eat yet, again, medical stuff, if I try to eat early anyway, like I used to be able to before all my shit happened, then like I could just do it back then. Now I can't. I cannot do that. So sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I just gotta wait. It is not food time. And I have to just let my body like do that. So not stressing about the start time has helped a lot, to be honest. It's helped a ton. So that's all been good. And streaming, you know, again, like I could just stay later. So
I'm not sure if this is working, but hello everybody. Luckily I have points to do this. Say GEEGA, quick question, will you ever react to the great Vshojo react chain of reacting to a Xen clip? Almost everyone has done it already.
Yeah, I actually, I put it in, I have like a Discord server where I like leave, links for myself, or I leave like all these different things for myself. I'm going to, but what I want to do is I want to wait for a time where like no one's doing it. Either everyone's done it and then there's a lull, like a period of nothing, or like it needs to be revived. Like I'm planning to necro it. You know what I mean? Like I'm going for the long con, because I don't want everyone to just do it and then it's over, right? Oh, everyone reacted to it and we all have the funny clip of us reacting to the whatever. I feel like if we all do it within the same week, then like everyone just watches the same clip over and over within that week and it's done. It's dead, it's over, right? So instead, yeah, when they least expect it, I want to like pull that clip out of my ass like way later. and I just don't want to let it die ever, you know? So, and like every time a new member joins, we could do that. But if I feel like it's been a while, like I don't know timelines or anything, but if we ever have like a time period where it's like, you know, remember when Henya joined and then like no one joined until I did, right? Because we don't schedule in for the year, oh, this person's doing this time, that person's doing that. It's more like things happen when they make sense. So if there's like a big like gap and there's no one new, I'm just gonna in the middle of that be like, oh, here we go, it's the clip again, you know. And I'm just gonna like pull it out of nowhere. Just when you guys think you're safe, you know? Yeah, 3 years from now. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm going for the long con. For sure. What the hell song is this? Oh, I know this song. Okay. Anyway. I could be on screen now. Sorry, I was like getting my snacks in. Welcome. Do it on your Vshojo debut. That's a great idea, actually. That's a wonderful idea. What a good idea. Now, when I joined, I tried to make sure that, like, a little bit after I joined, I did a lot of stuff that wasn't related to Vshojo, because I didn't want to be, like... I didn't want to be that person that joins and is like, this is my life now. You're never going to hear me talk about anything else or do anything else. You're never going to see me with anyone else. You know what I mean? So I like really focused on Vshojo right at the beginning, and then after that I was like, I gotta make sure I'm like doing my own thing too. So I didn't do like the reaction to the clip or like anything like that. I want those things to be long cons, and I bring them up out of nowhere. After your first week was business as usual. Yeah. I think that was important to me, was for it to not feel different. Because I'm going to be honest, a lot of my community was like, oh my God, are things going to change a lot when I joined? And I was like, no. And they were like, but is it going to change a lot? Is your content going to change a lot? And I was like, no, I'm going to join. That's it. And they were like, oh, and you know, so I just went back to business as usual. They were like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think the only thing that changed was I just did more like YouTube content with Vshojo members. That's really it. But even then, I already did YouTube content with them before that, because like we did stuff. So, you know what I mean? That's whatever. She changed. Yeah, I did change my model. Thing is, it was the same face, same everything. It was just a different outfit. It wasn't even like a different model. You know what I mean? And people were like, "Oh, you changed so much." Or I remember some people kept calling it the Vshojo model, like they had a hand in designing me or something, which never happened. It was literally an outfit that I was already designing on my own as an indie. And then when I realized like we were going through with me joining sometime later, I was like, oh, I'm working on this outfit. Should I just debut it at the same time? And they were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like that was the long and short of that. Right? That's literally it. I don't know. People said I changed. Of course I had to change. I pooped my pants. It's true. It's true. One of you said another something. Wait, I just hit allow and it didn't show the message. Is Twitch chat okay? It was trying to hold it because you added me. And I hit allow and then it didn't show the message. Well, anyway, the person was asking, they were like, someone said, I mean, I've said this straight up multiple times, but I'll say it again. I guess not enough clips exist of it. They were like, hey, someone said, I guess online, that you were part of the first auditions, but then you said you were scouted. Can you clarify? Yeah, I was just scouted. Nothing of me joining the group or being brought in had anything to do with any auditions. I was separate from that. I was scouted, meaning someone just reached out and was like, do you want to join? And I was like, okay. Obviously there was more to it than that, but yeah, that was the yeah, I was not a person who auditioned and then got into the group and like, you know, something. You're wondering why people care so much? It's very concerning, but not like that big of a deal, that people care so much. I don't know. I get asked like daily. They're very concerned over something that doesn't affect them at all. I don't know. It's weird. But you can ask me any questions and I'll clarify. You know? I'm also open to like getting asked these questions and telling you straight up and honestly. But you know, no, it's very clear that no matter how many times I clarify things, they'll keep saying it or complaining. So like, does it really matter? No, no, it really doesn't. Froggy was adamant that you auditioned. Why? Why? No, I was brought in because someone contacted me, and the first conversation was, hey, this is not a recruitment. I'm just asking you if you were ever open to that in the future. And I said, I mean, I guess I'm never not until I have more information. And then later, months and months later, they did come back and were like, hey, this is, I'm approaching you now, like for a recruitment, would you like to maybe join? And I was like, okay. After we discussed a lot of things, at first I was like, I don't know, but I went over all of the, you know, the information that they could then give me at that point, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's really it. There's really two ways to join, and it's either if they already like know of you or they have some sort of direct line of contact, they might just reach out. But then they're also obviously like, when they opened auditions, the whole point of that was for anyone who wants to maybe join to declare their intent instead of them just like reaching out to a lot of people the same way they did to me and being like, are you all interested, right? And then it's also a way for people that they might not have seen because they're smaller to get seen, because otherwise how would they find them? They're just going to find people that get recommended to them, right? And no matter how hard you research, you're going to miss a lot of people. So, you know, doing like a formal process at least lets those people put themselves in front of staff so they can be aware of them, which is huge. Because, you know, if you only scout and recruit, you really can't like get a full idea of how many people would even be interested. Not how many, but like how many of these people exist. You know what I mean? Yeah, the community is in like these little pockets. And we don't have a billion staff who can go around and do that. You know, they really just know the people that are in front of them, and when they research, they see some. But there are a lot of people, you know, that they were like, oh, you know, we found some of these people. We think they're pretty cool, whatever. And like, we've just, like, I just talked to staff. Like, hey, how's it going? You know, how's all that going? Are you doing well with it? And they've just been like, yeah, I found this cool person who does this thing. Never knew they existed. And it's some like tiny streamer, you know, stuff like that. So it's nice because it lets people put themselves out there. It's also part of why it takes so long too, is because staff like are legitimately looking at everyone who's applying. So it's like, it takes a really long time because we only have like a couple of people doing that, and there are like thousands and thousands of applications. So, yeah. And they're not going to just like be like, oh, let's cull it by a number. Let's make them meet a minimum number and then cut off 90% of the list. Like they're actually just like looking through everything. So yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I feel for them. I wonder if Vshojo has any mandatory events, quote unquote, like going to a con, big collab, or is it all a choice of the member? Everything's a choice. There is nothing mandatory. There's nothing in our contracts, or at least in my contract specifically, because I haven't like read over everyone's contract, but in mine for sure, and I'm pretty sure in everyone else's, there's nothing in there where they can like make us do anything. Everything has to be agreed upon. So yeah. I've seen some people say that they're like, oh, this thing, they must have made them do this. And I'm like, they can't. They can't, though. That's honestly, like, you guys, for those of you who've been here for a long time, you know, for a long time I said I wouldn't join anything because I didn't like that in most cases they could make you do things. But when I spoke to them more and they were like, hey, that's not a thing we do, I was like, oh, and seeing it also literally like legally written that they couldn't do that, I was like, okay, great. That makes me feel like safer, more comfortable. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Froggy was also certain that the new member was going to be a guy. I saw a lot of people saying that they thought the new member was going to be a guy. Someone on Twitter was like, they replied to, I don't remember what it was. They replied to something I said, and they were like, I was like, oh, I'm really excited or whatever. And someone said I was excited, whatever. Someone else went like, it's because it's a dude. And I was like, what does that mean? what do you mean by that? Crody's a friend. Yeah, we should just get a dog. I'm going to be honest. I think we should just get a dog at this point. He needs a friend. He needs a friend. It's true. Zashibi, thank you for the 5. Thank you very much. Thank you. Twitter's out there with a lot of thoughts about a lot of things. Yeah. Yeah. One of you said, yeah, you thought the company was horrible with bad people for a while, and then once you actually watch streams, you realize it's not the case. That's what happens when you, like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like when you only go on Twitter or you only read YouTube comments, and depending on what like channels you're with, what circles of the community you're in, yeah. I'm personally like, I'm not going to judge any creator unless I just sit there in their community and see it. There are times where I sit in someone's community and I'm like, wow, this is terrible. There are other times where I sit there and I'm like, I don't see the problem. You know? Yeah, it's very much like that. There's still people who are like, if they see me and they don't know anything that I do, they never heard me speak, they just see that I'm in this group, they'll be like, I bet she does sexual content. And I'm like, this community couldn't be farther from it. Like, if you say anything like that, applying it toward me, you get like sniped immediately. It's just funny. I don't know. So people will, you know, be really wrong, and that's okay. Oh yeah, it's because I showed collarbone once. Yeah, you're right. You're right. How dare I? How dare I? Absolutely. Someone said, I've been curious. I know you like keeping your chat at arm's length as to not be parasocial. Do you mind being called someone's Oshi? I know it seems small, but I just want to be sure. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Because that's just like my favorite, right? In an idol group, that's like, hey, that's my favorite member of the group. There's nothing parasocial with just being like, that's my favorite one. That's fine. And even then, I've said multiple times, parasociality can be bad, can be fine. Like, the word isn't inherently bad. It's just the nature of a lot of things, and it's only when you're like, I'm gonna let what I think or what I want to do with this creator, you know, get in the way of me getting a job, having a relationship in my real life, like, etc. That's where I'm like, ooh, now we gotta stop, right? It just can't affect you negatively. That's when it's bad. Does that make sense? Or me, right? Like, either way, it shouldn't affect anyone in that situation negatively. But if it's just like completely harmless, it's whatever. It's whatever. You said, when you said earlier you did watch Froggy stream, she was 100%. I was brought in from audition. only take information from people that are members, okay? That's really all I'll say. And even then, some of them might not even know how some people did things, because like I didn't tell the other members when I was being scouted and having talks about how things were gonna go. I didn't go to them and go, oh my god, they're talking to me. I like didn't. It was just between me and staff, you know? And I did say like, hey, is it cool if I say to some people, and they were like, hey, now that we're this far into the process, okay. And I just told like Zen and Haruka. Everyone else, I was like, they'll be surprised later. You know? So they found out later. But yeah, I wanted to respect, like, I don't know, it's better to hold information close. Zenton, like, she was surprised that Amelie was joining. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people seem to have the impression that, like, we, the members, sit around in a table, like a council, and decide who, like, joins, but it's staff, it's not us. Like, we're asked what we think, but we don't sit there and vote yes or no or something. We're just asked our thoughts, and then, you know, like, they get to make a decision. It's not us. You know what I mean? It's more fun to imagine it that way. It is really fun to imagine it that way, yeah. A council of all of us sitting there with our hands, like, together below our chins. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, man. It would be cool. It'd be cool. One of you said, how long was your joining process? Since Amma said 1.5 years, I was curious how long something like this is and what it entails. It could be completely different for everyone. It depends on how many unique things in your situation you've got. I don't remember, to be honest. Like, to be real, I think for me, the actual process, like when I was approached the second time to actually join, was less than a year. When I was approached by someone asking if I'd be open to it in the future, I want to say maybe it was like a year out or something like that, maybe longer. I don't remember. And I will say that I can't give a lot of detail, but I was actually talked to way before that when I was very small. about something related to it as well. I was. That's also another thing when people are like, they only they don't consider people that are small, and they only consider like friends. I was very small and not friends with any of the members at the time when I was literally talking to staff. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that, like, when I see people say that, I'm like, I was literally right there though. Like, and it wasn't the right time. Like, I didn't do anything with that, but I could have. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to give too much detail, but still, like, people get considered. Okay, that's all I'll say. People get considered. Does that make sense? Like the Nova girls. When people are like, can you debut a small streamer? And then I'm sitting there holding my arm out, pointing at Nova, and I'm like, hey, can we remember that they exist? Because I'm getting real sad. I'm getting real sad. Like, because I'm going to just say there are different things that need to happen or should be addressed or should be done, et cetera, et cetera. But the most important, in my opinion, was to make sure the JP branch had more people. I felt that this whole time, that was the most important thing to work on. And then they were like, here's 4 of them, and they're all very small. Either didn't exist or were very small. And I was like, yes, it's the 2 things I wanted, filling out that branch a bit more, bringing in like, you know, some completely unknowns, etc., right? And I was like, yes. And a lot of people that watch them are English speakers. They're not like, they try their best to communicate in a way where you can watch them no matter what you speak. A lot of them, you know, they have extensions that you can use to auto-translate, all that. They're right there, guys. Please support them. They're right there. Yeah, but, you know, people will forget about it because it doesn't suit whatever argument they're trying to make. So I get it. They're cherry picking. It's okay. Whatever. Use Vutor to watch Nagi. Yeah. There was like that one that some of the mods suggested that I got to. And it makes it a lot easier. The translations are pretty good. They're not always correct, but they're pretty damn good. They're pretty nice. Can we get a link for the Vshojo streamers? Scroll down, and when you go to my About section, you'll see that next to my name in my About section, there is a Vshojo Twitch team link. You can click on that, and you see on the full stream team, you see everyone in the crew right there. Click there, and you'll get all of their ats, like, perfectly, their URLs. Okay. You watch Pekka and Nagi, you don't understand half of what they're saying, but they're fun to watch. Even if you don't get it, they're still fun to watch, yeah. It's nice. I was really feeling like I wished we had more people streaming during those times, because I wanted to, like, lay in bed, be passing out, have something to, like, pass out to, you know what I mean? Like, or, like, late at night when I'm working on stuff, having them on the side while I'm working and just listening. And it's nice. It was really just Mouse, and then, like, anytime Mouse wasn't live, I'd be like, who do I watch now? You know? Who do I watch? But yeah, having them there is nice. It's good. They stream when you're eating lunch? Yeah, actually, a lot of the time when I wake up, they're on. Some of them stream really long hours too, like really long hours. So when I wake up, they're usually like still live. No, I don't sleep very long. I'm not a like really long, like 9-hour sleeper or anything like that. But still, I go to sleep and I wake up and they're still there. Which is crazy. Nagi goes crazy, yeah. Nagi's really good at certain types of games, especially, like, she's really good at FPS. And I feel like you can only get good at FPS if you're the kind of person who will grind for hours and hours and hours. So I feel like when you stream, that translates to, no matter what you're playing or what you're doing, being able to stream for hours and hours and hours, right? Like, sometimes I'll do a crazy long stream and someone will be like, oh my god, you're still here? And I'd be like, I used to play EVE Online for 15 hours. So, you know, I'll be fine. I'll be all right. I'll be okay. Yeah, light work. Exactly. Exactly. You go to sleep watching Michi, you wake up 7 hours later, you get to work and continue watching Michi. Me too sometimes. Me too. I was glad that in the last year we kind of like had a lot more people in that time, because that's when I'm streaming. I'm streaming and I can't watch my friends. So my friends that stream at the same time as me, I can't watch, you know? I can't watch them. You guys get to watch them. Some of you multi-tab, or you watch one stream one day, another one another day. I don't get to, you know? So it's just nice to have members that I can actually watch, because we're in like opposite times, you know? It's nice. It's nice. I see, I call you senpai is cute. It is cute. I would feel, I'm not gonna lie, if someone were like not from Japan and they joined as just some EN member and they started saying senpai, I'd be like, can you not do that? But then when it's a JP member, I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's me. Because it's normal for them, you know what I mean? I used to have that in oh my god, in college, I remember. So there was one friend. So I was friends with a lot of exchange students, okay? A couple of them would call me different things. A couple of them would call me Sonbei. Sonbei is the same as senpai, right? Hi, Hestia. We were just talking about a topic related to Nova. I like your outfit. Thank you. I like your outfit. We were just talking about it. I was saying, like, if an EN member came out of nowhere and started calling me senpai, I'd be like, what is happening? But I like it when the JP members do it. And I used to have this in college where Korean version of that is Sonbei, right? So I remember having exchange student friends, right? People from Korea that would be like something Sonbei when they talked to me. And that was fine because I was like, yeah, that's normal for you. And then I remember someone just starting to call me that. I don't remember if they were, I think they were just in a math class. They themselves were not Korean or Korean American. And they just started calling me Sonbei. And I was like, can you not? And they're like, I thought you would like that. And I was like, no. No. What? Why are you doing this? Stop it. There's nothing like wrong with it. It just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? I was like, stop. Kuro calls you guys the Hesticles. I've heard him say it and I think it's really good. And so, you know, I feel like that happens because I didn't really name my chat. A lot of them started calling themselves mobs because in general, the whole community, everyone's a level 1 trash mob. That's just how it is, right? So they started calling themselves mobs. And at some point, my friend Mike started calling them geegoids every time I would raid. And now I feel like more people call themselves geegoids than mobs. So like, you're getting the same thing with the Hesticles. Like someone else says it and it just happens. Got fucking Hesticles and geegoids. It all sounds so gross. It sounds terrible. Terrible. Geegoids is too good. It does sound really good though. Lagooners. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's my friend Grape. She says like Gao a lot, right? And she has the Gao-gooners. It's like, that's so funny. Was it Jabroni Mike that did it? Yeah. The geegoids thing came from Jabroni Mike because he would call people in his chat sometimes chatoids when they'd like say something really like stupid. He'd be like, "We got a chatoid over here," and then he started adding oid to like every word, and you know, yeah, there's the emote. And then it became geegoids. I don't know, dude. It all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. Or Giga's missing ball, which has been split off and self-replicated into an army. No, my ball isn't missing. My ball was removed because it was, you know, a homunculus of terrible things and needed to be killed. Okay. 07 to my ball. It was removed for good reason. It was a demon that needed to be purged out of my body. And it has been vanquished. So am I. You think you need to be purged? Yeah, no, it needed to be purged from my body. And it is gone. Do you miss your ball? No. I don't feel the difference. You know, I really can't tell. And as a woman, when you got one ovary, it just does the job of the other that you're missing. And like nothing changes in your life So, all things considered, probably one of the best organs to lose, if I'm being honest. Now, if you lose 2, that could be a problem. You lose 2, that's how you get like osteoporosis within a year. Boom, just because of hormonal stuff. But losing 1 is like nothing. The other one's just like, okay, I'll just take over the whole thing. You heard that's the same with testicles. It is. Yeah, basically just does the whole thing. Well, menopause comes sooner. On average, it comes sooner by 1 year, maybe. Most women have no difference. Actually, I looked up everything and, you know, talked to my doctor or whatever. And I was like, what happens if I have 1? And he was like, nothing. I was like, are you sure? He's like, on average, with not really much data, those that have 1 ovary get menopause maybe 1 year earlier, but only sometimes. And I was like, okay, so nothing happens then. He was like, yeah. I was like, okay. Really not a big deal. So you didn't know any of this? Yeah, it's some things being ruined are a bigger deal, but that one was really like nothing. So like kidneys. Yeah, kind of, sort of. At Hestia, you here? Why are you asking? You think she's at your beck and call? Huh? Huh? You think this is a chat room where you can just talk directly to her? She just streamed. She's tired. She's gonna go hang out or something. I don't know. She said something? What she said was that Geegoids is cute, but Haskell sounds so wrong. That's what she said. She's chilling. Yeah, she's EP. She's EP. She's hanging out. Let her live. Yeah, chill. I love that emote so much. The chill guy. He's so good. He's so good. Look at him. We're proud Hesticles. That's a really good name. I like it. You know, we should go to any of the other Vshojo fandom names that need a little touch up, and we should give them a touch up. So what are everyone's fandom names? Let me see. Hold on. Let me get text on the screen so I can whoops. I almost changed scenes. Ignore that. Let's do okay. Hestia Hesticles. Okay. Then we have what? This is what I've decided. Okay. Now, I don't want to repeat any naming conventions, okay? So if she has Hesticles, we're not going to add ickles to like other people, right? Yamata has Momos. I think we can make that one worse. I think Hesticles is good where it is. Momos needs to be made worse. I think Michi, she's got what? The foreskins? Is that what she decided it is? That's terrible. I like that. Enya as the hentai. That's fine. Actually, can someone type the hen? Can I get the Japanese hen? So we get like the real name. I want the real one. Or is it tight? Is it the other way? It's Japanese tight. You're right. Can I get that? Let me get that. And thank you. It just looks right when it's like that. There you go. Okay, so the top row is going to be stuff that doesn't need changing. And then the bottom chunk is going to be stuff that I think we could workshop. I think, okay, Mouse is Precious Family. We can make that worse. Does Zen officially call her chat anything? I feel like I've been there for forever, and I feel like people kind of, oh yeah, family with an O. I feel like a lot of people kind of say geckos, but I feel like I don't hear Zen say that. Right? Do you know what I mean? Not saying that like it's not used. I just feel like it's something that like maybe she adopted as chat called themselves at first. I don't know. I've been there for a long time. I feel like I've been there for long enough that I've seen it like just slow burn its way in, but it wasn't like a thing that she just sat there and was like, this is going to be the name, and introduced it first, right? It was more like chat did that over time, and then she was like, okay, and she accepted it, right? So Zen as the geckos, but she does it like that, not like some people put an E in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mel with the science team. I like that one. I don't want to change that one because I feel like it's funny. Right? They're like, oh, we're doing this for science. Right. I think that's good. I think that's good. Yeah, I'm with the science team. I gotta say, by the way, after having done a lot of things together with Mel, and especially recently we did a meet and greet together, I really like Mel's community. They're so good at being both huge fans of Mel and some of the other kinds of content that she does, and being very normal in a public space. You know what I mean? Like, they're very nice. They're very realistic about it. They're very like, we got to be respectful about this though. Like, we're here for the content and we're not going to be like weird. And I think it's hard to build a community around that type of content that also doesn't get weird with everyone. And like, they're like really good. They're really good with it. Okay. Yeah, they're like, I just want to jerk it sometimes, but I don't want to make it weird for anyone. And I'm like, that's where science team comes from. Exactly. That's why I like the name a lot. And I'm like, that's fine. They're like very honest, but not trying to make it fucking weird. You know what I mean? So it's like respectful. Does that make sense? I wish more people acted that way. Yeah. And that's the thing. People will be like, oh, these gooners, something. And I'm like, hey, her community, where a lot of her old content, like now she does more normal streaming, but everything used to just be revolving around loot content for the most part. She was able to still make a community that's so excellent off of that. I don't want to hear anyone say it's hard and like to the point where it's not possible. Okay, yes, you have to try really hard, like you have to moderate a lot, etc., but like it's doable, you know. So it's just nice to see, man. Meet and greet Anime Expo was so fun with Mel. It was so funny because I think some people have the impression that they can't say those things in front of me.
TF2 meme.
Does that make sense?
Professionals have standards.
Yeah, exactly. I just like don't like when people say those things to me or about me in certain ways. Right? They like come to my chat and they're like saying something and I'm just sitting here playing a video game. But it doesn't mean that I hate that kind of content or something, or that I think that it's bad. Hi, Katie, etc., etc. You know what I mean? So that meet and greet had a lot of people from the science team come here and be like, hey, thanks for letting me say those things in front of you and not making me feel ashamed. And I was like, because there's nothing to be ashamed of, dude. Like, there's literally nothing. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, like, all I care about is time and place, and you held to that, and that's fine. It was nice. A lot of nice science team members were like, hey, I just want to say I appreciate that. Because apparently some people that aren't even like as strict as I am with some of the rules here on that kind of stuff, some of them still like make people feel awkward about it, and they feel like they can't even like be normal Mel fans out in the wild without some people saying something, you know. But I don't want people to feel that way because there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Katie, they were telling me about the the breathing coaching, about how you were teaching Michi to growl earlier. You're you know, some people have a lot of patience and a lot of Michi does not breathe right. I think a lot of people don't breathe right. A lot of people don't speak properly, quote unquote, in a way that doesn't strain them, etc. And you would never know until a coach literally like works with you. You would just never know. When you said, would you believe Mel didn't want to do Twitch streams at first? We convinced her to try it and it worked out. Yeah, she told me she was like afraid to, nervous to at first because she thought people like were not going to receive it well. And then it was completely the opposite, and especially because her own community, you know, encouraged her a lot. But it's funny because a lot of people here on Twitch just have like no idea that she does anything else. So, you know, there is a way to speak without straining your voice. I mean, obviously, speaking for a long time, you're always going to eventually strain it, but there are ways to speak and techniques and things you can use to make sure that you strain it as little as possible. And a big part of it is using the right amount of air. Using your diaphragm to speak rather than just like, you know, really, really, really working on holding your vocal cords at tension and using less air to get more words out, which I actually do a lot of. And I have to try hard. I have to try really hard to make sure I'm pushing a lot of air out when I speak. Because if I don't, I get really strained really easily. Really easily. That's kind of why I developed vocal nodules a long time ago, was because I've just like, I had always spoken that way. And then I started having to project my voice more. I was speaking louder in meetings. I was doing theater. I was doing all these different things at the same time that used my voice very heavily. And I would use my diaphragm for some of them and not for others. And I ended up overly straining myself. And just the hours I was putting in, the prolonged hours for like years, I eventually just ended up with really bad nodules. It was pretty terrible. It was pretty terrible. So, you know. Yeah, Misha keeps losing her voice. She said something about that, and I was like, I'm sure something could be done here. You know, like, I'm sure something could be done. It doesn't just happen. Yeah, she never used her diaphragm. That's really all it is. Just when you talk, think about sighing a little more and pushing more air out, and that will help you a little bit. No, Hestia does not actually call them hesticles. We're renaming people here. The ones at the bottom are the ones that I think we need to rename to something worse, and the ones on the top are bad enough. Who else has what? We got fruit. What does she do? I know she said souls for a while. Oh yeah, Nagi's been doing. Actually, I don't think we need to change that. It's not bad, but I don't want to change it. She says Hamily. She has. We've got the Haru cult. But fruit cakes actually is one that she's used a lot. She's done fruit cakes. I think souls is like the one that she said herself, and then fruitcakes is just like a funny one that she uses. It's not like established, right? She just says it sometimes. Kura has canines. Oops, I keep typing that one instead. He's canines. Only has scufflings. We can do better. We can make that so much worse. We can make it so much worse, okay? Like 1,000 times worse. I'm relatively new to the whole Vshojo community, but I'm loving each and every member. This is the first time I've turned into stream, though. So hi. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome on in. Hey, everyone's nice and stuff. Everyone's nice and shit. It's true. Was Kaysan's? Oh, Kaysan has is it like something with an SH? Is that the fan name, or is that just? I'm trying to think. Gachikoi. Yeah, she has like I'm in her Discord, and she has like her Gachikoi. But Gachikoi, the thing is, this is a term that is used in general in like culture for idol fans, all that, and it just basically is someone who like really, really, really loves that member. So if you have an Oshi in a group and you're sitting there and you're like screaming for them, and you're wearing like a t-shirt with them and a happy coat with them on it, and you have pen lights with their name on it, and you're like, wah! And you're like just completely like expressing your love, whatever, while they're performing, you might get called that. So hers is sort of a play on it, but yeah. Emily calls us goons now because Mafia. Yeah, but is that like permanent, or is that just with that outfit? Right? Mouth breathers. I wouldn't call them that. That's mean, brother. Also, I want to say this. I've seen a couple people mention idol culture and say negative things. I think it's good, actually, and there are bad things about it, but I think overall, if you know what you're talking about and you spend time being a fan of idols, etc., I think a lot of things about it can be good, idol culture. So when someone's like being like, oh my god, my Oshi, I love him so much, as long as they're doing it healthily, I think that could be great. Okay. She calls guppies with siren, so probably temporary, yeah. Yeah, Angel, that one wasn't trying to be mean. Yeah, no, I'm just saying people might take it that way. So I'm gonna point it out anyway. Angel, that one is used in her Discord. I actually don't know if she uses it like that. I think she does. Let's put it on there. Let's put it on there. Other two members. Yeah, what does Pekka say? I just wrote how to call without putting how to go. What do we do for Peke? She just says Otabis. Okay, and then we have Nagi Peke. What about Hotaru? Hotaru. What does she do? Are you making a list of the mascots? It's not the mascots, it's the chat names, and we're gonna make some of them worse. We're going to take some of these names, the ones that I think we can make worse, and I'm going to decide with chat what we should do to make them worse, and then I'm gonna keep suggesting it to them for the next 5 years. Okay? I'm gonna sit there, and they're gonna be like, my community is this, and I'm gonna be like, what about this other name, though? And I'm gonna do that for forever. Servants, underlings, henchmen. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It's like translated to that. Okay. Who am I missing? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I put Nug instead of Nuggy. Hold on. Yeah, Hime with... She has the harem. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. There we go. Okay. So the ones at the bottom, we could make these, like, so much worse. We could make really cursed names for them. Okay. Let's start from the bottom. Kei-san. Okay, she has, like, Gachikoi or whatever. Unfortunately, I don't think we can use goons for this one. Because Alma's currently using goons. We can't do a play on goons. Pekka's Peckers. I like it, but we'd have to explain it to her. I'd have to... Wait, I like it. I like that. Peckers. Okay, if you come up with any that you see the name and you're like, yeah, this is it. Anomalies is scufflings. Yeah, it's written there with the other name as well. She doesn't understand it's better. I'm still without the C. I do kind of like it without the C. Wait, I like it. I like it a lot. Go into chat and be like, yeah, I'm a pecker. Okay, that's good. Let's move that up. Okay. Hotaru. It doesn't have to be cursed. Zenticles. No, we can't use something already used on someone else's. We can't do that. We need a new one. How to cult is good? You're right. It's not cursed, but it's like good. Delinquents. Nah. It was like tentacles, not testicles. No. People will see it as no different. We gotta do something completely different. Oh, tarnished. I would do it. Is this Nad playing? No, it's just Seth MacFarlane talking to himself. I would do.
To be honest,
that if she played a lot of it.
Scambers first, but we all know that plan failed too fast.
Yeah, she did the scam thing. True. Hooters. No. Zenticles. Tarnish is good, but like maybe if she... Can we just do something hot dog related for her? Can we do hot dogs? Because she really likes her hot dog model. Can we call them hot dogs? Like that, so people know how to pronounce it. Wieners. Hot dogs or wieners. You did it with 2 E's. I like it. I like it, but I think we gotta do hot dogs. We gotta do the hot dogs. She really, really likes it. And yes, and she does say it like that. She's like, hotadogu, right? She'll say that. So say it with an English accent and be like, we are the hot dogs. I like that. With our queen hotadog. It's time. Let's fucking go, bite. Let's fucking go. You said I got news in a movie on second round of interviews with Riot. I'm gonna get a job there and nerf Oshi's TFT MMR. Get his ass. Get his ass. All of the mods that sit there playing TFT all day, fuck up their MMR. Do it. Alright, we're doing hot dogs. I kind of like fruitcakes. I think fruitcakes is pretty good. She said frauders. Thing is, not everyone's gonna immediately know what that is, and they're gonna be like, "What is that?" And they're gonna have to Google it. That's a like thing that makes people Google, right? Who said that? Scroll up. Scroll up. One of your fellow chat members immediately was like, "This is the first thing that came to my brain," and we all know what you are. We all know. Apricocks. She does say cock a lot. It's okay. It feels like the low-hanging fruit. We could do better. We could do better. Zengriefs, like Zangief. Yeah, but that's her, not the chat. Right? We're naming the chat and the community. We're not just naming like another name for the person. You know what I'm saying? I do like Fruit Loops. But Fruitcakes has the same one she always uses. I kind of like Fruit Long. So that's a good nickname for her. Fruglets. Oh, I do like the Fruglets. Yeah, I think Fruglets is good. I think both are good. Let's keep both on there. All right, geckos. We can do so much better. I like that. We're gonna keep those. We can do so much better than the geckos, okay? And by better, I mean so much worse. So much worse. How about Zendaya Fans Anonymous? How about that? Xenomorphs with a Z, so it's like xenomorphs. That's cool. How about
we could call them Cheer 100.
The Zemtria fan club. What about that? What about that? You like it? Xenobites. If it were like she were only CyberZen from there on and forever, I would say yeah. But she's doing the dragon mod a lot more, and it just kind of like she changes between them. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to pick one that's like really just one thing. Zenpines. Nah. Yeah, because that's naming the chat that. So yeah. I think the Zemtria fan club is pretty good, but can we do one that's really cursed? The Zenemies. Hold on, I like that a lot. I think Zenemies is really good. Someone said Bazinga, get out.
Equals gecko plus griefer.
But it doesn't roll off the tongue. I like the concept. It doesn't roll off the tongue, though. Centaurs. I think Zenemies is really good. I think we're keeping that. We're keeping it. Zesties. Okay, wait. Zesties is pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a runner-up. That's a really good runner-up. And maybe I'll just call them that as a joke. But I think Zenemies is great. All right. Mouse with the Precious Family. Now, this one's nice. right? Because this is like very wholesome. I think we can change that. We can change that. Okay. Rats. Rat bastards. No. No. Needs to be rancid. Someone said droppings. Just call them droppings. That's good. That's good. The spawn. What is a pack of rats called? Let me see.
Just happened to gather what's going on briefly before lurking, but all I could think about for Amelie with her Mafia debut is Ma Stooges.
A group of rats is referred to as a mischief. Kind of like how you have a murder of crows, things like that. A mischief. Could we use that in a way? Interesting. I still think droppings is pretty good. Let's put it here as a contender. Droppings. Mouseschief. Yeah, but that doesn't sound like a name for a community, right? It doesn't sound plural. Or like you can use it plurally, so it'd be weird in a sentence. A group of pandas is called an embarrassment. Cheesers. Cheesers. I like cheesers because it's so annoying if I keep going into a stream going, what's up, cheesers? Fuck it, we're doing that. Droppings is good. That could be the contender, the runner-up, but we're doing cheesers. It's just, the whole point of this is for me to be annoying, okay? So. Wait, you know, we gotta make it worse. We gotta put the Z's in there so it's cheesers. Little cheesers. We gotta put the lil in there. It's the little cheesers. It's so over. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like it. Okay, Mata has the Momos. Now, I like the name Momos. But let's call them something else, okay? Momorons. I remember when she was first trying to come up with ideas and I gave her some names. There were a lot of names that I gave, and there were a couple. I remember there were two that I thought were like perfect.
Murmur.
But Momo made sense. Murmur. Mama. Mormons. No. Rad roaches. Wait, someone said this. If I spelled like this, rad roaches. Oh, that's bad. What if we make it like a bad street gang name and we make it like Roach Boys, like that? What about the fucking Roach Boys? And it's, oh, Infesties was the one that I said. That was the one. That was the one when she was first coming up with names. I kept typing in all caps in her channel, Infesties, over and over. I was like, Infesties. And she liked it, but she still went with Momos, and I was like, no. I think Infesties is good. I'll just reclaim the name that I really wanted to name them, even though it wasn't my decision. I'm just gonna call them the Infesties now. Saturating with Tyranids. That would have been really good, but it's so like Warhammer-esque that I feel like it's so narrow, right? Like there's more that we can do. Not that a copyright would be an issue, like it wouldn't be, but yeah, I like the idea of like it just being more unique. Because then when you say Tyranids, you'd be like, oh my god, like Warhammer every time, and people would never stop saying it, you know what I mean? Yeah, Infesties is an unofficial internal one, you said? Yeah, well, we're gonna use it. The Flood. Yeah, right, that's the thing is like, I'm like, what if I name my community this thing from Halo, right? Like, it would be kind of, I don't know. Infestants. Ew, wait, that's, oh. I don't like that. Infestants. That's gross. All right, Kuro with the canines. Canines is a great name because he's got canine in his username. It's good. You said gay nines. Hold on. Now, I know his community. They would love that. Now, the thing is, I'm not trying to piss off his community. I'm trying to piss off him, right? If I go to his chat and I'm like, what's up, gay nines? Thing is, will Twitch look at that and think I'm harassing them, even if they respond positively? You know what? That's the... It's straight nines. That's the question. Is it worth the gamble? I mean, really, like I know his community would just like find it funny, but so that's a possibility. But we can do better, I think. Slay nines. Actually, that's very annoying to type in chat, and I like that. I keep going in and go, "Hey girls, what's up, slay nines?" And I'd be really annoyed with it. And then like the people in his chat that are male are gonna be like, "Please stop." Except they're not at all, because this chat loves it. And a lot of you are dudes too. Alright, they're gonna be the slay nines. I need it to be like different from his current name, you know what I mean? I like that. I like that. Slay nines the Z. I already did Lil Cheesers. I'm really excited to call them Cheesers. We have to do that tonight. If she's streaming tonight, I need you guys, I need you to promise me this right now. Mouse streams, you go into her chat and you're like, "What's up, fellow Cheesers?" Okay? I need you to do it, but I need you to wait for me. I need you to wait for me to show up in her chat, all right? And this is like the secret code. I'm be like, "What's up, Cheesers?" And everyone's like, "Cheesers unite!" Okay? We need it. We got to do it together. My signal will just be me being like, "What's up, Cheesers?" And then everyone will be like, "Yeah." The Cheesers roll out. Okay, Amelie has the Scufflings. She's temporarily calling you guys the Goons with the Mafia outfit, the same way she called everyone Guppies with the Siren outfit. What can we do? What can we do here? Gooners. It's such a normal word, and it's not a play on anything. Can we workshop that? Tech support? That's Sayu. Let's be honest. It's too, I don't know. There's a wordplay on past names and all I'm going to do. There's a lot that can be done. Some of you going, "Save him, save him." Teabags. Ooh, teabags is like, I think we need to workshop it, but it's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere. Lee from Amelie, Leroy Jenkins. Hold on. Leroy. We gotta change Jenkins. We gotta change Jenkins. Okay, that can be adjusted. I hate this Kanye song. I'm skipping. There we go. Leroy Jenkins. And then I'm gonna pretend that every Baggins is good. I'm gonna pretend that every single chatter's name individually is Leroy. And I want you to all pretend when you talk to each other in her chat that your name is all like Leroy. So when you see each other, you're like, "What's up, Leroy? How you doing?" Like those streamers, there are a couple of streamers that just call their chat a singular name. I know there's one streamer that just calls their chat Jeff. Like they're talking to one guy the whole time. We got to do that bit, okay? Everyone in her chat is individually named Leroy. Got it? Yeah, Leroy Jenkins. Okay. Good. All right. The final frontier, Kason. Gotcha, koi. Let's think. Motherfuckers. Motherfuckers. Honestly, Kason and the motherfuckers goes crazy. But I can't like annoy her and annoy her chat with it. They're gonna be like, "That's funny and we love it." Is that, do we like that? I think we can keep it, but we have to, every time we have to call them Kason and the motherfuckers like it's a band. Right? We'll just shorten it to this. But we have to say that. Okay. It's all about like the setup, you know what I mean? I think it's good. I think it'll be great. Chat is backing vocals. Yeah. You guys are on all the instruments. Yeah, let's do the full name. Kason and the motherfuckers. Okay. All right, how do we feel about this list? This is my officially approved list of names that I think the communities should all be. Hesticles, Foreskins, Hentai, Geegoids, Science Team, Hamily, Harem, Peckers. I think Peckers is great. Hard Cult, Hotta Dogs, Fruitcakes, Zenemies, Lil Cheesers, Infesties, Slay Nines, Leroy Jenkins, and Kason and the motherfuckers. I think that's really good. I think we've really done a lot for our collective community here in really pulling together the branding. Okay? And I'm glad this is a community effort. It's perfect and everyone likes it and everyone has agreed, regardless of what the streamers say, right? We sure did. What's yours? Geegoids. It's right there. It sounds like a disease. Are you okay? No, I have geegoids. You alright? You keep watching that Twitch stream. I got the geegoids in me. Make sure to update Gunrun. Yeah. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I'm keeping that on the side. I'm keeping that screenshot. Just in case. Just the hemorrhoids. Actually, Nagi's Hamily would be really fun if we called them the hemorrhoids. Can I change it? I like the Hamily, but like... We'll have matching names. We'll have matching names for our communities. Ooh. There we go. Now it's perfect. Now it's perfect. Oh, it's wonderful. Will she even understand? I'll make it so that she understands. Don't worry. I will be able to explain this joke. Bad case of geegoids is how you end up with one nut. That's true. That's how I lost my ball. I had geegoids. It was terrible. Hemorrhoids. I love that you can use the emote to type in the chat. Oh, it's great. Can you set their official names to autocorrect in this chat? I could. Ooh, we could do that. Okay. We could do that. I would need to work on it, or someone would need to make them. But if any of you make it, so you make an emote that says any of these names, then when someone tries to type the real one, if they say like Momos, it'll just change it so it looks like it just says Infesties instead. Yeah, we'll just use 7TV to do that. So you just have to make an image. If anyone does that, 100%. Good idea, GEEGA. Exactly. Exactly. There we go. That's what I'm saying. So if any of you want to make them, 100% make them. And then in the Discord, I'll link it. We have a chat, a suggestions chat. You can just leave them in there. It's not just game suggestions, it's everything. It's like, oh, use this emote. Oh, you should do this, you should do that, you know. Throw it in there. And I will absolutely take a damn look at them. We could crowdsource them. Oh yeah, there's the cats one. We can make a quest. Yeah, put it on the quest board. Okay, guys, scratch it. One other note. If you go into the Discord, you join in, you pick a faction, you do the thing. There's a quest board in there. And when we want something like this, you can submit them in there. So there's a thread per thing. So it's easy to find if you want to look through them. But then also we can give you points for doing it. So do the thing. Do the thing. No quests posted. I should get a little... You know the little quest accepted thing from Monster Hunter? Where you'd accept a quest and it would feel like a stamp on the screen. It goes like, boom. I need that. Quest accepted. Monster Hunter. Maybe I can find a green screen of it so I can just slap it on. Maybe I could do that. If anyone could find an asset for that, I'd love to slap it on the screen. And if there's no green screen, if you just have a PNG, I can make it work. I can make it work. All right, I wrote that down so I don't forget. I'll try to look for it too. That horn sound effect? Oh, I can find it. Any game sound effect you can find easily. Very easily. Random stuff that I ask for like that, it's like not like a big quest. Just put it in the Geeking Out channel and there in suggestions or something. Just do that. Just do that thing. All right, there we go. Perfect. Are there any others that you want to change? Is hemorrhoids an emote? No, so she has like the Hamu emote and you can just write roids after it. And it works perfectly. It's this one. There. Real fans know. All right, real fans know. Hemeroids. Actually, okay. Hemeroids would be perfect, but you know that Hime will be down for anything cursed. I'd rather do it to Nagi's community. I'd rather do it. I would. What about crotches for Kuro? Wait, that's really good. Thing is, when I imagine myself being annoying and entering his chat, Slay9's works better for trying to piss him off. But it's really funny. I like that. Do not bully Nagi. She's a perfect cinnamon roll. Absolutely, she's not. She's fucking not. Now, maybe I've just talked to her directly a bit more, but she's fucking not. She's a demon in Apex, all right? And she just watch her, okay? She's not. She's not at all. It's not just the thighs clip. Like that's all like that's nothing, okay? That's something that someone who's like 15 would be like, "Oh my god, so crazy." But no, she does crazy shit, dude. I remember when I first spoke to her, we were using our models, you know. So I see her model and I was like, "Oh, so cute." And I was like, "You look so fluffy." And she was like, "Yeah, I like it. It's a little contradictory from my personality." And I was like, "Is it?" And I, by the end of that call, I was like, "It is. Okay, I understand. I completely got it." You just gotta spend a little time. You gotta spend a little time, but you'll see. You'll see. She's really funny. I get along really well with Nagi. I get really well with all of them, realistically, but Nagi especially. We still have to play games. We have to figure out... I want to play Apex with her. Hold on. I'm going to type her message and then I have to DeepL translate it. She plays a lot of FPS, but I don't really play a lot of them other than Apex. Of like the current ones, you know? Yeah, we could get Amma too. I think it'd be nice to have a third that can translate, but at the same time, I think it'd be funnier if no one can translate. So I think it's funnier if... What I should do is I should hook it up so that my browser audio goes through my mic too, and then I just type things into like Google Translate and press the speak button, and I just have it keep talking to her. I think that would be a really good bit. I should just do that. Fuck it. Okay. Japanese translate. Wait, I should put it in all caps so it doesn't try to translate it. I don't like the way it translated that. Let's do that again. Okay, hold on. I'm workshopping it. Okay. I found it. Okay. Sometimes I drop something into a translator. I'm like, do you want to do this? And I look at how it translates into Japanese. I take that and I put it back in and have it spit it back out in English. And it's like, I want to do this now. You know, like the way it says it, sometimes the nuance is off. You always got to workshop. You always do. You always do. A stream that only uses a live translator app? I think this might be doable. I think this might be doable. Can't use the tech quackity put out for live translations. Did he actually make that public though? I want to say he didn't. Wait, let me actually check. I feel like he was saying he might, but I'm pretty sure he didn't actually like make it so that anyone could just use it. Let me see. Tiny live translator. Is it like a tool now? I don't think it's public, guys, but let me check. You know, he just announced like 2-3 months ago. He was like, hey, I'm making this universal real-time translation tool, but I don't think it's usable yet. I think. Still in the works. Yeah, I think what he's doing is he's working on it. It's being used in his Minecraft server in his SMP, and then I think he's been testing it by having some people use it. He did a thing where he did something with a Japanese YouTuber and was just like, I don't know if he was talking to them live or what, but I saw a clip, and I think he was actually just using it to collab straight up. And you said he was going to eventually. Yeah, I think we need that. I think it would be great. I have a lot of friends that I want to play things with, but like, how? You know? Now, I will just do it. Even if I can't speak anything that person can and vice versa, I will still just do it and yell a lot. But not everyone will, you know? So I like it. I like the idea of it. Is presented as live, slight delay. I mean, it's impossible to do without a slight delay, of course, but yeah. I think if it's slight and not huge, that's great. VTuber collab, but they can't hear each other. They can only communicate by using... Oh, voice to text. You mean speech to text. To Google Translate to Mandarin, then back to English, and then text to speak to the other streamer. And we have to, like, guess what it's trying to say. Dude, Google Translate is so bad with English into Asian languages and vice versa sometimes. Like, it really is bad at all of that. You just need a person, a human translator, to be honest. DeepL is better with Asian languages to English, but it's still a bit rough. It's hard. DeepL is better, but not by much. Yeah, it depends on the language. Some it's better with. I'll say with... I feel like with Korean it's okay. It's alright, but it messes up the formalities a lot. Like, constantly. Even if you... There's no way to make it just toggle a formality too, because you might change formality mid-sentence. I don't know. It's tough. How's AWS Translate? I actually haven't used it much. I don't know. Though I have confidence they'll probably work really hard on those. I just don't know if it'll be good enough. It's like the instructions I get from Temu with electronic parts. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We're in a world where everyone's buying things from Asian countries. And then people in those countries are trying to make instruction booklets and things to send out with them. And sometimes it's about safety too, you know? So it'd be nice to have better translators, but I really think you have to do it with people at this point. I don't know. But I have a video with Novo still being worked on. It's taking a while because my editor is the one that speaks Japanese, has to subtitle things in English and subtitle things in Japanese, and his brain is melting, but he's doing it. So everyone, please pray for the health of his poor brain while he tries to get through this. Like, he's doing it, but like, man, I don't want to rush him. I don't want to rush him at all. It's a lot. It's a lot. And every time he has to like listen to every part of it, you know, we'll be speaking in English and Japanese and swapping between, and he's, you know, it's a lot when you're editing and you're cutting stuff down and you're like going back and forth between bits of clips trying to understand what the hell's happening. But he's a fucking trooper. Goated editor. He's great. He's actually someone I've worked with for a while. It's not my main editor. It's another one of the guys on the team, but he's great. And he, one of the main reasons he was brought in was because he can speak Japanese, and then I didn't have a good way to leverage that. But he was just a great editor on his own. And I almost forgot. I almost forgot that he even could fully speak it. And then I was discussing with the team. I was like, yeah, I really want to do a video like this. Might need someone who can speak Japanese. He was like, I know you know I speak some, but do you know that I'm like one level down from completely fluent on like that official test? I was like, what? It's that good? Okay. I didn't know it was that good, so relieving. I could just hand him the project. His is really good though, like really good. I thought it was more like conversational, but no, he was like, oh, I tested very highly. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be good though. I'm excited for the video. I'm excited for it. It's cute because we filmed it before they debuted, so they were very nervous, and they were like I don't think we'll include all of the footage, but during it there were some bits where they're like just asking me questions, you know. He's thoughtful about translations. Yeah, he takes his time to make sure he gets it right, not just like, yeah, here's the meaning and I would say it like this. He's like actually trying to get it done the way they said it, which is nice. It's nice. And it means I could do more videos with them in the future if I want. I'd love to do one whenever that live translator tool is released. I'd love to do one where like we actually use it for the whole thing. Oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. And then he could correct anything if it's wrong. I think that's the interesting part, right? We could see like how accurate it is and test it. Like an interview video. It's a GEEGA chat episode. But I think I might not call it that. I filmed it with that in mind, but then the way I structured it was actually different. You'll see, but I had them take questions and answer them. And some of the questions I had some existing EN members give me to then ask them during that and have them answer. So it was nice. It was cute. I sat together with, there was one call where it was me, Peke, Nagi, and Hotaru in a call. And then Hesti had to do something, so she did a separate filming of it. But we got all four of them, so I'm glad. I'm glad. And I haven't really done videos like that where it's me filming with a lot of people. It's always one-on-one, so it'll be nice. It'll be nice. Oh, that's the other thing. I was thinking about what I could do because Dan Clancy was like, hey, if you want to do more stuff in the future, we can. I don't want every single little thing to just be like that same TOS discussion, but I still would like to like do something. And I thought what would be really cool is just doing a GEEGA chat episode. What do you guys think? Doing one where I'm, instead of just being like, oh, let's play a video game on my channel, instead doing a GEEGA chat and then asking him a lot of questions about like what's it like doing his job, understanding some more stuff, and not necessarily trying to grill. I'd love to throw certain types of questions in where I can, for sure, but I don't want it to just be that. I want it to also be like understanding the company a bit more, right? I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I don't know, but state of what their goal is for the future environment would be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Maybe like hot ones even. Yeah, like a big mix. So we'll see. Think it would help the Twitch audience connect with them a bit more. Yeah, I'm not trying to like rake him over the coals. I feel like people do that enough and that's seen, whatever. I'm just trying to be like, can we hear more words from you though? like I still want to ask some things that maybe push a little more. I don't want to be a big pusher, but I want to push a bit. But I'm also really interested in slightly unrelated stuff to like the current things people are complaining about. I'm also interested in like just straight up like, what's your day-to-day? What do you like have to spend your time on as someone who's more public facing rather than, you know, like a CEO that never talks to the public, right? Your interview already gave insight that people didn't understand. Yeah, and the thing is that most of that interview was actually about me. It was about them interviewing me. and they're just like, hey, by the way, we'll let you ask questions at the end too. Like, it doesn't have to just be about you. And I was like, oh, cool. But it was mostly them asking me questions, you know? So I'd like to maybe do the opposite. It'd be nice to have more time to do that. But yeah, we have the rare opportunity of a CEO that wants to talk to his people. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there should be more time spent on that for sure. But if you guys have any like questions or things that you think would be good, you can put them in Geegan Out, or like topics you feel like only he could answer, because I think there are a lot of things people ask that are more, he's the face of it, but they're looking for questions that should be answered by specific Twitch staff that do those specific roles. I'd like to ask more questions that maybe like only a CEO would have the right insight on. Does that make sense? I'm trying to think of how I want to narrow those questions down. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I even like to just ask him about stuff he did before Twitch, right? So that people can hear a bit more about his background, where he came from. That'd be good. I didn't get an answer to my question of whether he's a girl who poops or a bitch who shits. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Could ask him how he treats failure as a learning experience. I mean, you're just going to get a generic answer that any CEO would give you because they all experience the same thing. We fail and then we adapt and overcome. That's literally it. Every CEO will tell you the same thing because their job is just to do that. Literally. He worked at NASA, I think. He has a weird background for the current job he's in. So yeah, I'd like to, like, you know, check in on this. When this is happening? Not scheduled yet. Not scheduled yet. I was just asking him, like, yo, do you have access to a green screen? You know, like stuff like that, where we're still figuring it out. We're figuring it out. You ever thought of doing the same with Gunrun for the people that don't know him? I could, but I feel like he has more recording of him having spoken about those kinds of things, I think. I could. But he's someone who came from the Twitch environment, so it's all kind of like similar stuff that you might know about, I think. I'd rather focus on people that did things that are like a little bit wildly different, like big departures. You know what I mean? I still would like to do one, but when I think of the order I pipeline them in, that's what I consider more. But I could do all of them. Why not? MTD. I've thought about it for sure. Because he comes from being, more so being a content creator himself. So it'd be an interesting conversation, right? Like you were a content creator, you were a YouTube creator, did all these things, and then you transitioned into being someone who is in charge of a company, bringing up other creators. Like what's changed there, right? It'd be cool. I'm surprised who he was because I came across his video content years ago. Yeah, I used to watch his stuff a long time ago, but also I was aware of his name. This is something that people don't know, and I never told him about this until like I was already joining this group, because I didn't want us having known each other for a long time or known of each other to be a thing to factor into that. I actually have known him. I've spoken to him back in like the early 2000s, straight up, and I didn't realize it was the same person. But then I looked it up. I like looked into it, and I'm like, we were in a community at some point where we had both interacted and like didn't know that. And I told him that way later. And I was like, yeah, things come full circle, huh? That's crazy. Yeah, like early, more like early mid 2000s, like 2004-ish, around there and beyond. But and it was not related to streaming or anything like that. It was totally separate. And it was messaging. It was messaging. It wasn't voice or anything. But I remember having interacted with him quite a lot at that time. And I didn't think it was the same person when I saw his username in like the VTuber space. I just didn't make the connection at first. And then sometime later, I was like, wait a minute, is this the same person? Because I think it was maybe a profile picture he had or something that just reminded me of something older from his. So I went and looked back and realized that he had been using the same username the whole time. I was like, oh, and it was pre-YouTube stuff too. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that was very, like, I don't know. It was just such a weird, it was surreal, right? Like, realizing that. And I was like, hey, I told him later, I was like, this person from this thing, that was me. And he was like, what? And we talked for a bit about it, and I like gave information that would prove it was me. You know, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. You wouldn't mind knowing more about Vshojo JP CEO. Ooh, you know, yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Doing something with JP staff specifically. We have a few people on JP staff too, right? Like, I think he's the most public facing. We have a few people that I've spoken to internally a lot that do a lot with JP that I really enjoy, that I think have just really cool insight to a lot of this stuff. So maybe we'll see. Yeah, Case on stream with them twice. Yeah. Yeah, like Twitch, man. Yeah, real Vshojo staff Twitch, man. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, hi guy. Well, hi guy's like, it's different, but yeah. Yeah, he's my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I'm biased. He's potentially my favorite. His birthday video for Henya was so great. He's incredible. He's just incredible. The stuff that he does is it's like low-key humor sometimes. If you're talking about like the CEO, yeah. He's fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I miss Hi Guy. I think it's sad that we have to jump through more hoops to get IRL streams approved in Japan. I miss doing the walkarounds. I'd like to do more of them. I liked that it was always Hi Guy doing them. But, you know, he's done some con walkarounds and things because that's a different type of space, so it's a little easier for you to just show up and do it. So, I am hoping that we get to do more of that. Personally. Remember his merch promotion for Henya? He's really good. He's really good, and I've actually mentioned to staff that at some point I want him to do that as well. Approval from Vshojo or Japanese established? No, Japanese established. So Japan, I totally understand why they did this, and I actually very much so agree with the law. But Japan approved a new law last year that you cannot be a streamer just walking around streaming in public spaces. You cannot do it without permits or something, because yeah, establishments and privacies of people's faces. Yeah, because a lot of streamers started going to Japan and walking around and doing the public nuisance thing for content instead of just streaming. And it was too much. It was just a few of them being really bad, and they were like, we can't do this anymore. If you have to get an approval first before you do it, otherwise, you know, not allowed. And I think that's good. I don't think anyone should be able to just go do it, you know? So, I agree. I think it's annoying. Yeah, don't say any specific names or anything, but we all know, right? So I actually am really glad that they passed it. It does make it so that, though, if we want to do an IRL stream, a walk around, have Hi Guy walk around Japan with a backpack streaming, and then we capture it and we talk over it, blah blah blah. It makes that more difficult, but not impossible. It's easy for us to still do that at events because a lot of events just have a blanket approval for that. And then if you want to do it in public, sometimes you have to go either to the town or to certain businesses or whatever. But, yeah. I'm glad that we can still have some measure of it, but it's okay. Rare Connor IRL streams. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can still do it in a lot of other places. It's just that in Japan, you know, there's a big understanding, yet misunderstanding of the culture. A lot of people in the West understand how different culture is in Japan, especially about and around being outside in public, how you need to be treating public spaces, how people act in public, etc. There's people that really understand that, but there are also people that see that, and it's not a lot of them, it's really just some bad eggs, but they're bad enough that they want to use that for content, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be weird in front of these people because they're gonna have really negative reactions, and that's hilarious, haha, right? And then they would film that, and that just kind of, I mean, you know, what can you do about that? If people can't control themselves, then you have to blanket ban, right? So I get it. And I kind of agree. I actually like the idea of being able to walk around in public in Japan and feel like I'm like not likely to be being filmed, right? Like, maybe some people still try to skirt rules, whatever, but like no one can legally just be doing that. I think that's actually really comfortable when you're traveling there, when you live there, you're just walking around. It really sucks for the streamers and their viewers, but for everyone else, it's a great thing. So, you know, I think it's good. I think it's good personally. A bunch of streams Connor Mouse did earlier were before the locations open for the day. Yeah, a lot of events and things. So there are a lot of public areas like parks and things where they'll have a little event and they will just put a blanket thing out that says like, hey, we're approving streaming and filming during this. And that way anyone walking into that area knows this is approved, and IRL streamers will just go to those. So they don't have to always request specific permission to do a thing in a specific place. Sometimes they can just go to events, right? And that still makes it like not that bad. And there's certain areas that just always allow. There are even towns that are like, hey, this is okay here. This is all right here. Just know that, like, you know, businesses and establishments will throw you out or whatever, right? So you'll be able to do things in certain areas. It just depends. It really just depends. Can't do any public interaction stuff, even if it's positive. It always feels like people are being held hostage. Yeah, I'm from the Northeast, and I don't like walking around and having someone ask me questions. I don't even like being asked for directions. If someone is like, excuse me, how do I get to wherever, and I'm already walking, I don't stop walking. I'm sorry. And this is why, you know, everyone's got this like, oh, New Yorkers are so mean thing, but I'm fucking busy, and finding out where you need to go is very easy in the city. It's incredibly easy. We have Google Maps. Even before Google Maps, all the streets are literally labeled. Okay? I understand if you're asking in the middle of Brooklyn and you're like, I don't know, you know, these avenue names. I understand that, like, the avenue letters are in order, but I don't know where this name is. Okay, I understand that. But when they're like, where's 53rd Street? And we're on 51st Street, I'm like, brother. Walk in one direction. If the number went down, turn around, walk in the other direction. Like, people ask that stuff all the time. Hey, this guy said that this place was between 6th and 7th Avenue. Where do I go? Between 6th and 7th Avenue? And then you look up and all the businesses are numbered with the street number? Like, what? You know what I mean? So whenever I was walking around Manhattan, I do not do the directions thing because it's stupid. Now, it's different if you're in lower Manhattan and the streets are named, not numbered, right at the bottom. You know, you're near Battery Park or Wall Street, and they're like, where's Wall Street? I can be like, okay, that one is a name, not a number. I get it. You know? But like when they're like, I don't know how to get to 7th Avenue and 53rd, I'm like, go to the right until it's number 7, go up until it's 53. What? Like, oof. I don't get it. The thing I do understand is when people exit the subway and they look around, they're like, I don't know which way is north. They have no idea what direction they're facing. That one I understand. That's when you just get a sense of, because I'll be walking around and I'll be like, oh, this avenue, I know that this one is a one-way. Everything goes north, so I know which direction is north, right? Like, I'll know that. Maybe not everyone will, but outside of that, I don't know. You're from New York too, you don't know where everything is, but you use Google Maps app and that usually helps. Most people don't know where everything is. I mean, most people are used to just a certain portion of the city. And then everything else, they just know how it works. They're not gonna walk around and be like, oh, I know this whole fucking city like the back of my hand. Like, you usually just know certain neighborhoods that well, you know? That's all. New Yorkers aren't mean, just cursing's part of our dialect. Yeah. It's true. How did cab drivers function before GPS? You just knew where everything was. I mean, the fact that a lot of things were very numbered or systemized or grid-like made that easy. Most places people would know where they were going, or they'd be given directions. So a cab driver would actually just get given directions. So you'd be like, hey, I'm going to Coney Island. And they'd be like, what address? And you give the address. And if they don't know that street, they'd be like, hey, what streets is this near? And you'd be like, it's near this, this, and that. And then you go, okay. And they go to the area, and then you just direct them the rest of the way. That's just how people did cabs back in the day, for the most part. That was really it. But, you know, when you're in New York City and you're a cab driver, a lot of them will say that, like, they'll take you to certain areas and not others because they just don't know. You're like, hey, I'm going here. And they're like, I only do Manhattan. You know what I mean? Some of them don't want to know anything else, so I don't know. It said London cab drivers still memorize everything. It's really not that bad. Like, New York is huge, but generally, if someone says, I'm going to this, like, town name or neighborhood name, I can just drive there without a GPS. I can just get there. I can get there on trains. I know where the train lines go. And I didn't memorize anything. I've just, like, gone around a bit, and I know. So if a lot of people live, you know, in the area for even some time, you're going to have a general idea. Yeah, huge but organized. Exactly. Exactly. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But I don't know. I'm good with directions in general. I'm good with maps in general. That's always been one of the things I've always felt more confident on, is if I go somewhere once and I look at a map once of that area, I'll remember a lot of it. Maybe not specific names, but I'll have an idea of what the place is shaped like. And if I've ever traveled somewhere and then gone back the next year, I just remember where everything is while walking around. So maybe I have an easier time, you know, like going somewhere in like one spot of Queens one time, like, and then going back and knowing exactly where to walk when I get out of the subway again. I think maybe that's just me. Maybe some people don't have as easy of a time. I don't know. But I can't whistle, so I traded, you know, talents. That's the one thing I can do. My one talent. Knowing which way is north when I walk out of the subway station. It's very useful. You're bad with directions. A lot of people are bad with directions. I think it's a spatial awareness and spatial, like, knowledge thing, which I've always felt good about, right? Like, I can picture the apple. I can picture the apple in different parts of the room I'm in. I can cut the apple in my mind. I can rotate, right? That sort of thing. I think the people who have a hard time with that are probably likely to have a hard time with directions, right? Because it's spatial. I don't know. That's how I remember things. A lot of the time when I would be studying in school and I would remember a fact that I read in a textbook, I would have this vague associated memory of what spot on the page that fact was on. I wouldn't have perfect photographic memory, like I could close my eyes and view the page and reread all the words on the page, like, not like that, but I could remember, like, it was somewhere earlier in the textbook, the page was laid out like this, it was in that, like, upper right chunk. Like, I would have that memory, and I guess having that spatial, referential kind of thing made me remember the actual fact better. That was really it. But I certainly could not. I know someone who has, like, a really, really good, not perfect obviously, but really good photographic memory, and that shit always amazed me. I was like, that's insane. But they can't remember, like, if I could remember that something was earlier in the textbook, they can't remember that, but they can, like, close their eyes and, like, picture that page. So it's interesting how that all works. I don't know. The brain is very weird, but different people remember things differently. I have friends that have no internal monologue. That's crazy to me. That's insane. I can't imagine living like that. But then I sit there and when you're asleep and you're not really asleep, you're, like, starting to fall asleep. You're starting to dream a little and your brain just goes, like, ooh, on a tangent. I assume that's just what their thinking is like when they have no internal monologue, right? I assume it's very similar. When there are no internal words, it's just, like, everything else. You know? That's my guess. You have aphantasia? No. I have the opposite. I daydream too hard when I'm remembering something. I picture it to the point where I'm, like, not My brain's visual center is focusing on the memory of what I would see and not what my eyes are literally seeing, so I might as well have my eyes closed in those moments. It'll happen when I'm like retelling a story. I'm like my eyes are like in sleep mode. You know what I mean? Actually, it happens the most when I'm reading. I think that's why I like reading so much. I always have. It's because when I read, visually, I'm not even aware of what I'm looking at on the page. I'm just picturing the imagery of what's being said on the page, and that's just like that's the stronger image in my mind at the time. I don't know. I think people who do that like reading more on average is my guess. Because any friends I've talked about that do that more are like, yeah, I love reading. And then friends that have aphantasia or just have a harder time picturing things, they'll be like, yeah, I fucking hate it. Though I do have a friend who straight up has aphantasia and loves reading, so it's, you know, not gonna say it's always correlated, but it seems like it kind of is. I don't know. You can full on taste and smell things if you can imagine it. Ooh, I can imagine scents and tastes fairly well, but not like full on like that. For me, it's seeing and hearing. Hearing is actually really strong for me. I can just like play any song in my head perfectly, like perfectly. That's the one that I think that's stronger than my visualization. I don't know. Brains are interesting. They're weird. But that's something that I can always do. My internal monologue is too Shakespearean at times. To eat or not eat the box of donuts? That is the question. Yeah, mine I don't have an internal monologue where I'm speaking to myself for the most part. I can, but I tend to not think in words so heavily. Does that make sense? Some people, their internal monologue is strong to the point where when they think, it's always indirect words like that. I don't. Not so much. I can. And I do when it makes sense. When I'm trying to formulate how to word something, I'll think that way. But yeah, when I'm walking around, I just don't always, like, think words in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Aphantasia seems to be in a different pathway than dreaming, so some of the folks with the most detailed and lucid dreams also have aphantasia. I've heard that, too. Yeah, I wish brain research were farther along at the current year, because I want to know more about it, but they literally don't know enough about it. It's one of those things that I want to sit there and read and watch videos on, but, you know, it's only just so far along. But I want to know more. I want to know more. You'd be interested in seeing the effects of different media on internal audio / visualization / sense impressions. Yeah, I wonder. When I was really young, I used to just listen to music constantly. Like, I listened to so much music, and I read a lot too. But I did a lot of sitting there and listening to music, and I wonder how much that affected my ability to then do that later, right? I don't think people are always just like born deaf. I think what you do in your early years really, really heavily affects those kinds of things and sets up how you think. I don't know. I'm sure there's some measure of nature versus nurture, but, you know, I'll be like, oh, my listening memory is so good, but then also, like, I did nothing but listen to music all the time while I was doing stuff. So, all right, here we go. It's time for a guest.